It's the public answer.
Did you hear that little whisper? She said very Brexity things. That was the whisper of a police officer when searching the home of Andrew Foulkes, the retired special constable, because of a tweet he wrote warning about the rise of antisemitism in Britain. They've decided to go through all of his things and comment on how Brexity his bookcase is. What they're going to pull up next. Oh, it's Douglas Murray's The War on the West. That is definitely a sign that this is a far-right extremist, I'm sure. Oh, and he's got The Spectator. This man's definitely going to go to prison for that. They're going through the sock drawers and everything. Unbelievable. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I would be absolutely mortified if the police turned up at my door to interrogate me over a tweet, let alone decide to invade my personal space, go through all my personal belongings, all of my drawers, reading my personal journals and whatnot. I just could not cope with such a attack on my personal space, and I could understand the police doing it if they suspected that I'm like some cocaine dealer and they need to come search my house to check I haven't got any stashes of drugs I'm selling anywhere. But to search someone's house like that just because of a tweet, I think is such an invasion of personal privacy. I think it's disgusting. It's such a big overstep of police power, and thank God the Free Speech Union are now supporting this retired special constable in launching a lawsuit against the police force for this absolutely ridiculous overstep of power where they investigated him for this tweet. And I just wanted to show you this clip of Andrew Neil talking on Times Radio about this case, which I think was pretty shocking.
In my lifetime, the British police have gone from being the most admired police force in any democracy in the world to one of the most despised. And that's a remarkable transition.
That is really something, isn't it? Like, I always remember growing up that the police in this country were really admired. Everyone thought it was brilliant how our police force in the UK, they were so well trained in de-escalation. They didn't get involved where it wasn't necessary. They didn't overstep their power. If you look at cops in the US, they can be much more hands-on and forceful and, taser you for doing barely anything wrong whatsoever and get into a big shout match with you, whereas the UK police, they've always been so good at de-escalation and always been seen as a very reputable, well-trained professional force. But I feel like now that reputation is completely lost because of what they've done, wasting their time going after thought crimes rather than real crimes.
To bring this story in because it kind of happened over the weekend. It's the Kent police story. They've apologised after a retired special constable was arrested and cautioned for posting on social media. He'd been challenging a Palestinian supporter about the threat of anti-Semitism in Britain. Julian Foulkes had said 6 officers from the force arrived at his home in Gillingham and pointed out he had very Brexity things in his bookcase.
That's what we just saw in that video.
Like J.D. Vance and others around Donald Trump, right to criticise the UK over this kind of thing?
Well, I don't think necessarily that people who don't know much about Britain, like J.D. Vance looking in from the outside, are people we need to listen to. We should be listening to ourselves. This is a terrible story. I mean, it's very soon you're going to be arrested, taken into jail and kept for 8 hours. If you've got, 3 books by Douglas Murray and a Michael Portillo train journey DVD set.
That one's fair enough. I think we've got to have standards somewhere, Andrew. I think that line has to be drawn for.
I know he's joking, but that really is the state of things where we're getting to, where if you've got 3 books by Douglas Murray and a Michael Portillo DVD set on trains on your bookshelf, you are going to be in trouble with the police. It really does feel like that is the way things are going. And, that's a joke there about the Michael Portillo DVD set. But do not forget that we had the authorities saying that watching Michael Portillo's documentaries on train journeys was a sign of far-right extremism. I'm not joking. I'm not the one who said that. The authorities, officially said that in like a leaked report or whatever it was, that they thought that was a sign of far-right extremism. And I just thought it was so snooty of those officers to be commenting on how Brexity this person is. I mean, I'm sorry, but know your place. Okay, you may have your own views on Brexit. You are welcome as a police officer to be a Ramona if that's what you want to be, right? But keep it out of the workplace and don't let it influence the cases that you're dealing with, okay? If you disagree with someone about their views, okay, live and let be. Let them have their views. If they think that anti-Semitism is rising in the UK, let them talk about it online. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't need to investigate them, not just investigate them, but go and invade their personal privacy and be going through all of their sock drawers and bookshelves and everything. I just think it's absolutely disgusting, and I really hope that this court case is successful and that the police learn their lesson, because as Andrew Neil said there, they have lost their reputation and they're really going to have to do something to get it back by changing tact. Anyway, I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to Reasoned if you've not already.